What up, everybody? So we're back at it again. I'm gonna try to get this train horn hooked up today. I took off the front grill to be able to have kind of access to it. They said it was over here underneath the condenser thing in the front here somewhere. All I need to do is find the wires so I can snip them off, and then I'll run it up. I'll mount it somewhere else because I don't want to mess with this whole front end system. So I'll figure it out on where they go, so I can just cut those wires off and find those wires and get in there and really get to it. I did, however, install the lights. So now those lights are up there. They're actually pretty big lights when you get them. You think they're going to be small lights if you order those off of Temu. The ones I ordered were freaking huge, but they actually don't look that bad when you're actually just looking at the vehicle itself and you're looking at it like from the front end. It doesn't look that bad. I thought they were going to be smaller than what they are, and I thought it was going to look god-awful ugly with those up there, but it's not bad. Now I kind of wish that I would have got them in a different color, but they're purple, so I'll be driving around with purple lights on. I'm not going to tie them into the headlights or anything like that. I'll probably just put them on their own switch so I can turn them on, turn them off whenever I want to. That way then, you know, just in case like I do get pulled over or something for them, I can be like, oh yeah, I'll keep them off, you know. That way then I can utilize them at the lake or something like that, or just, you know, if I'm at like a car show or a stereo comp and I'm in a parking lot, they can't say shit about them. I think they're just a drive light, so I don't know if they're actually technically illegal to have those across the top like that in purple. If they were like blue or red, I'm assuming that you could get in trouble for having those on like that. They also sell them in amber color or white. Now, white would make it look like you have lights up there because they're pretty bright. Like, I mean, obviously they're lights, but you know what I mean, like a floodlight or a bar, or like spotlights, that type of thing. So if you just got them in white and you want to be able to see the road better, it would work. I don't know how well they would shine onto the road or anything like that. I don't know how well white would work either, but I mean, they're pretty bright for what they are. So they're just a purple LED and they do work. So once I wire them up, I'll show you guys. I don't know if I'll get to wiring them up today or not. Yeah, so I got some more sound deadening in as well, and I started to sound deaden the hump in the middle, and I will do the outside tray here, and then I'll finish out that hump through the middle, and then just kind of fill in spots wherever I feel like it's necessary. I don't really care about like evenness on the floor or doing like layers on the floor. I got so much stuff I got to do anyways, because I'm obviously going to have to do the doors themselves too, to try to like skin those doors a little bit, and then the rest of it's going to be plywood, because I'm just going to skin the doors like on the inside just to get it to so it doesn't have such a flop to it. And then after I do that, I don't think I'm going to do this side of it, but I will definitely do that outside part of it. I do have to keep some structure to it because they have the roller mechanism is attached here. So I can't really just be like, yeah, I'm going to cut all this out, because I mean, I could cut down here and take out this metal that's in here and gut that out, which I think I might do. But then I do have to keep some structural metal in there. I don't know if this would be considered part of that structural metal, because this is all tied into this section. And as long as I just cut here and the rest of this out, this would stay and it should be fine, because this is kind of part all one. And if it doesn't and it gets kind of floppy, I can always just weld this piece back in if I chop just that piece out. So yeah, then the door would be just basically kind of open for me to be able to skin it easier. So I don't have to worry about catching my hand on these things or my arm or wrist on these things. These are like suicide little gashes inside the door, because you catch your wrist on there trying to do your sound deadening stuff, and all of a sudden, whoosh, now you got a sliced wrist, and it looks like you tried to kill yourself. So yeah, I think I'd rather just cut that whole section out of there. I have to do some welding on my cousin's truck. I drilled a hole through it. Van, truck thing. I was trying to drill a drain hole in his door the other day, and it kind of came out the door. So I gotta kind of grind this down and hammer it back, and then I'll just weld that hole shut for him. But there's a little engine that could. It's probably like a frickin' 350 in there actually. Yeah, there it is. Ta-da, magic. Anyways, my cousin picked this thing up. He's gonna be doing some stuff for it. So basically what we're gonna do is, these are sectioned off into sides, and he's gonna take these seats out. He's gonna take down this paneling, because there's insulation in here as well. So he's gonna take this paneling off of here, and then he's going to go through, make sure that there's no mold, anything in there that is. He's gonna spray it with like Mold-X and kill it, and then spray over the top of that with like Kills primer to make sure it doesn't come back. And then we'll just stick wood directly to that, or make runners off of it, and then put the plywood directly to that and build off of there. Basically down the line here, it's gonna be 815s on this side, 815s on this side, and then it'll be walled off to the back side here. And then you'll have your amps and batteries back here. The gate door will be able to go up and down just like normal. So when you open it up, you'll have your couple batteries, because it'll be lithium cell batteries, kind of like the itty bitty boom. They'll be back here, and then whatever amps that he's running. I got a kind of a good deal on a couple 8K or a couple 16Ks that are sitting around. So I think I might end up seeing if I can score those 16Ks, because they're the same Crossfire XT 16K. So the guy said he's got 4 of them. He's just sitting on them. He has 2 that are up for sale. 2 of them I think he's going to be using, and he wants them to go to a good home where they're going to get used. And here they're definitely going to get used. So 2 Crossfire 16Ks, or buy both of those, run one of them, and just have the other one as a backup. But I might buy the other one off my cousin if he buys both of them, just so I can have a secondary one for my sound van. So we'll see. Anyways, it would be 1615s is what's going in here. And yeah, so he's going to build this out. Don't know if we're going to keep the original logoing on there. It was for tailgating for our local college team, and so yeah, I don't know if we'll keep it that way or not. There's signs everywhere for it. Even the seats are embroidered or embossed, so those have been completely redone. And I don't know if he would just take the seats someplace else and have them redo them. There's no seat belts in here, so those will have to get, some lap belts put in. It's a 1974 and seems to be in pretty decent shape. So got a good deal on it, ready to gut it and turn it into an SPL vehicle for the lanes. Not windy, loud is what we're going for there. Metering, basically. Demoing SPL type of vehicle for the lanes. And these are both of his projects. My van is my project. And obviously this blow through 812s is going to be my project as well. Now the 815s in that thing for the van will probably be more on the windy side of things, unless it's tuned at like a 52.4 for the port. So I'm not really sure where it's gonna sit. Windy or hard base, I'm not exactly sure. Now I can tune this thing to be windy, but I'm probably not, because those subs that I'm using, they have a peak frequency area, or best performance frequency is around like 40 to 41. So anything below that, it's kind of muddy. Anything above that, it kind of just falls off, and the subwoofer doesn't really like it on the scale. So it loses efficiency. So I would like to tune the damn thing to be around 40 hertz, which pretty much would give me a decent scale up and down for bandwidth. Because I could play down to 33 or 32 hertz, and I should be able to play up to like 53 hertz, maybe 55, but we'll see. I'm not sure. Still got to put a single 12 inside here and close the doors, and since it's gutted, and see where the peak frequency of the vehicle is. And then I can kind of tune for the frequency of the vehicle and not for the subs, because I think if I tune for the frequency of the vehicle, it's going to give me better numbers, even though that it might push those subs out of their best playing range. So we'll see. We'll see. Those other subs, last time I had them, I put them into a prefabbed 40 hertz box, and with the vehicle I was hitting a 52. So we'll just play it by ear, I guess, and see how I design the box, or what frequency I aim for with designing that box as the blow through. I still have to order the pass-through ring banjo seal, or whatever they call it, accordion seal. There you go. That's what it's called, accordion seal. And it's an instrument seal. Either way you look at it. I knew it was a name for some stupid instrument. There you go. But anyways, yeah, so I'll have to order that. You can order it by the foot, or you can order it already pre-cut. So you can say, like, they make a 15-foot piece already prefabbed from one company, or another company literally says, how many feet do you need? We'll cut it for that size and send it to you. Either way, they're both competitive. They're about the same price. It's about $7 a foot. So, or $5 a foot, something like that. So we'll just get that ordered up, call it good, slap that in there, because I'll just have to cut out the square, drill a hole in each corner, just kind of measure off where I'm going, drill a hole in each corner, and then I'll just take the Sawzall and shove it in there and just cut it down. I think that'd be faster than taking a grinder to it, but we'll get to that point when we get to that point. Yeah, I do have stuff coming out on that amp too, or it already came out. Yes, it already came out. So by the time you guys are seeing this video, this amp has already been tested and it's already been talked about. There's a lot of work that needs to get done with that thing still, and my brain just doesn't want to deal with it at this point. I know I'm going to have to. So I have to order an air solder gun, and with a fine tip nozzle to it to be able to get in there and stuff like that. I might have to order a magnifying scope, and then a really good set of tweezers, and some flux, like flux inside of like a syringe to be able to actually get onto the board where I need to get onto the board. Yeah, heavy modifications needed for that thing. Otherwise, I'll just be sandbagging it. So, is there a light on in here? There is. Wow, would you look at that? There's a freaking light in there. Cool. Now I know that. I'm gonna have to pull that. Cool, didn't even know that. There was a light in there. I did, however, find the light that was to the interior lights, right? That would go for that light, for the dome light. But I already had snipped it off down there, so I figured out where the whole issue was. But now that I snipped it off already down there, I'm just gonna wire those up and just connect it up. Put a switch right here, so then my dome light's still on a switch, because since I cut it at the harness, it's so close to that actual harness that it's just, there's nothing there. I can't reconnect into that same harness connection. So this will be on its own standalone switch when I'm done. And obviously that's on its own thing. So I wonder if I can kill it. I cannot. It's on a door button. So the door button is here. Let's see if I shut the door, if it shuts up. Oh, did I click that on? It's on a timer, I bet. We'll find out. Unless I didn't shut the passenger door very well, but no, it should have shut. It should shut itself off. Should be on a timer. If it's not on a timer, then there's an issue there. Nope, it's on a timer. It shut itself off, yep. So this side it didn't turn on. That side it turns on. There's the bulb. Is underneath there. And yeah. This side it doesn't turn on when you have the door open, which is a good thing. It's just the other side that it does turn on. And then I suppose if I hit that, set you guys up on here. Crawl through. We'll give it a shot here. See what we get. Nope. Oh, yep. So that kick that light back on. So now that light thinks that it needs to be on because the door is open. Nope, it shut off. So if I kick this on again, there it goes. It just takes a second. Lights off. It just takes a second for it to turn on, and it takes a second for it to shut off. Shuts off. Okay. So the only problem is when that door is open, this light's on. I can fix that. I can fix that. And just open the door up. Ta-da, open. Open says me. Now I can take and go and take that. Ooh, that's sharp. I forgot that there's metal shavings on the ground in here. Oopsies. Yeah, I'll fix that real quick too. Set you guys up over here. There we go. Put you guys up on top of the tripod here for a second. And then I'm gonna go and grab. I'm gonna go grab this. Good enough. Hopefully. Hopefully it's good enough. Then we don't have to worry about a bunch of crap being like stuck everywhere. All right, let's move you guys over. Hopefully you stay up there. All right. Now, I don't exactly know where you guys are facing, so let's turn you on. There we go. You're good. Yeah. So, I'm just going to open this up and take this off. I think I can take that out of there with that, just that nut that looks like it's put it on a socket. Should be fine, should be fine. Let's go. I'm not sure what that socket is. 3/8? Something like that, I'm assuming. There's that. see if this is actually going to fit in there. It's not, it's bigger than that. I thought it was just 3/8. It might be just slightly bigger. 7/16 maybe. And of course I'm dropping stuff. Come on now. Let's move that up a little bit. Come on. So I can spin this. Okay, wrong way. And it is a 7/16. Some of you guys probably already knew that though, that it was 7/16. So if you did, congratulations to you. If you didn't, well, now you know. If you're ever taking out the door switch on a 1996 Dodge Dakota, it's a 7/16. So I can spin it by hand, but it's just hitting certain points and it doesn't want to keep spinning on its own. So eventually I'm going to hit those wires in there too, where the wires are getting twisted and they're going to want to, yep, see, it already kind of was. So just go like that. Should turn itself off. Yep. So now these wires are just there. I could throw some stuff on there. I might throw some Tessa tape on there. That way then it's doesn't worry about touching anything in there, but I'm not too worried about it doing that in the first place. If it does, it does. Throw a little Tessa tape on them, shove them back in the hole. They'll disappear and never be found again, because I don't care. Then I'll find an actual grommet to shove in there that'll just lock it off, and you will never know if there was a hole there. Well, you don't know, but you know, nobody's really going to care. So, a little bit of Tessa tape. And we're good to go. I'll just put it on the ground too, because I don't really care if it's the ground. I'm just going to throw it on there anyways. 1 and 2. Gone. Perfect. Now if I turn this back on, light, turn it off. It takes a while. No light. Now I can utilize that light for putting in like a LED light or something underneath there, like a strip. And I probably will. So at some point in time, what I will do is I will take that light out of there and hook it up to where there, I'm messing with the flashlight. Eventually I'll take that LED out of that section, and I will from underneath there, I'll take the light bulb out of there, and I'll cut the wires, and I'll just run strip lights underneath the dash or something like that, like an LED strip. I'll just get the 12-volt one, and then I can just wire it directly. That way I don't have to worry about hooking up like a step down or something like that, like I did inside the sound van. In the sound van, I just did that because it was a quick way to be able to get cheap LEDs or LED light strip, which ended up not being such a good idea, because when I cut that one, it had a messed up LED in there, and then part of the section of the lights is a different color, but doesn't really matter to me if it's like that or not. Yeah, so this is ready to go. I do got to get foam so I can start foaming in the doors and stuff, and or foaming in the back panels down here. and then I want to actually put foam inside of the tray down here, get that done. Then we will get to measuring off how big port we need for the blow through, and then we'll get that cut out. Yeah. I wish I had a plasma cutter, because that might actually cut quicker, but then I'd have to take that carpet off that and take the whole box out, and it would have to be bare metal back there so sparks didn't get everywhere. And these bolts are rusted, so I'll take you guys off the stand. These bolts are rusted like really bad, so I don't know if I want to mess with them. I think I'll just leave them, and eventually they'll completely rust through, but that won't be probably while I own the vehicle. I think it will be after the vehicle is already gone to better places or somebody else's hands, that they'll rust through, and then that whole thing will be just flopping around. Other than that, I mean, the vehicle's in really good shape. Like, there's not, the bed floors and the front cab floors and stuff aren't all rusted out. There is rust really bad in the bottom of that door. It must have held water at some point, or got water in there at some point, and then it just held it in one spot and really rusted that corner out right below where the speaker was. So I'll have to put patchwork in there and patchwork some stuff in there. Obviously, from having these wheel well liners on there, or fender flares on there, it rusted out the wheel wells in that area. And then also having the bed liner insert in here rusted out around the wheel wells and a little bit on the edges. Other than that, this truck is actually rust free. The whole underbody is rust free. The frame is rust free. So it's a really good truck for the year of it. You can tell that it lived its life on a gravel road or dirt road. But that's just part of the truck's character. And by having it that way and it being an older vehicle, it makes it to where I don't fear beating the shit out of it or tearing it up or even driving it on a gravel road myself. So anyways, we'll get some more time-lapse stuff of me doing some crazy stuff to this thing, and yeah, stick around and keep watching. here we go. We got the horn in here. We kind of mounted it up here. I found the horn. It's like right here. I didn't have to take the grill off. They were like, it's behind the grill in front of the condenser thing. Some of them had them down here somewhere. This one's actually back further. I think the newer trucks, the newer Dodge Dakotas, 2000 or 2000 to like 2004 or whatever, had them up like here. Yeah, so I found it. It's like right behind the battery here in the corner. I just snipped off that wire that ran to it as a positive, wired that into the positive, and then I mounted it to the same screw that mounts the washer tank. And then that relay sits directly inside of like a little cut window that's inside of the framework or bodywork for the vehicle itself. And then I just scraped away a little bit of the paint there so I could get a good ground, and I grounded it. I'll show you guys what it sounds like. It is pretty loud, so bear in mind. Okay, just real quick. 3, 2, 1. So it is pretty loud for a electric horn. Again, I got this off of Temu. I think it was like 23 bucks, something like that. So if you guys are interested in an electronic train horn for your vehicle, it is a little bit on the higher pitch side versus an actual like train horn. But I think that it'll do the trick. It'll get the job done. It's louder than just having a standard horn in there. I would have had to take the grill off anyways because I'm eventually going to change these headlights out because these things are all frosted over. I mean, I could grind that down and get rid of some of that yellowing that's in there and just put in some different bulbs. Which, you know, depends on if my cousin wants to do it or not. That's on him. He can sure go give it a try. If he does succeed in that, then I don't have to change him. If he doesn't want to do it, then I guess I'll just order new housings, because these things are aged beyond aged. They're like super yellow. Yeah. I also got these two wires that ran up here and ran to a bulb that was up there. And so I'm going to take those wires, I taped them off, but they're hooked up still. There's still the disconnect right here. I got some extra length in there. I probably won't need all that. I'll probably just, you know, come back off from here a little bit, whatever, and chop it down. But I was thinking about just putting an LED light somewhere. There's a strip right underneath here. And so I was just thinking about coming back to where this plug starts at and just kind of like, hey, here's the strip, and put an LED strip underneath there to kind of just shine down and just, I don't know, it doesn't have to shine out, just have, you know, even if it's just back here, just kind of give it some appeal. When you pop the hood or you have the hood open, it just lights it up. And I would use white. I probably wouldn't use like an actual like colored LED for doing that, but most of those are selectable. So I'd probably just either buy it in white if I can just buy a single, you know, 12-volt white strip. Otherwise I would just buy it as the multicolored one and just set it in white and then just leave it in white all the time. Hopefully it stays in that. I know the other set, when you left it in a certain color, it would just stay in that. It would boot back into like the oscillating color. So hopefully it would just stay in white mode if it has to be the multicolored kind. Otherwise I'll just look for a direct white LED strip and I'll put that in there. Yeah, I think it'll just give it a little bit more character. Yeah, I don't know how much it's going to spread the light. Like this kind of just was like just a light bulb. So I don't know how much light it's actually helping or spreading it. It may have helped you when you needed to change your battery or to like jump your battery, or you could have pulled your dipstick and like maybe, you know, checked your oil or checked fluids or something like that. But it was just a standard bulb. So it more likely wasn't the brightest thing ever. So with this, it may be a little bit brighter, but again, it's not going to do much. So I'm just going to trying to add a few things here and there just to, I don't know, make it different and make it cool a little bit. But what's gonna make it cool is when I get this whole thing done, and I need to have the windshield cleaned and polished, because there's a lot of like sand pitting inside the windshield and stuff like that. So if you're driving towards the sun at night, when the sun's setting, it just looks like a million stars in front of your face, because it's just pixel from being sandblasted over the years. And I don't know if there's a glass company that can buff that or cut that. If not, then I may just live with it the way that it is until I blow the windshield out, or I just get tired of it, and then I'll have it changed, and then change the decal on the front. Yeah, it's got to definitely get fixed at some point, because it's definitely pitted from years of driving on the gravel roads and things like that, and probably following tractors and whatever else, or other vehicles that were kicking up sand or kicking up dirt, rocks, whatever. But yeah, so that part of it's done. Horns in. Then I just gotta wire in the LEDs to their own switch, and wire in the dome light to its own switch, and a few other things. But anyways, go ahead, smash that like button and subscribe, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.